Trade, the regional trade agreement with the European Union for the last almost 20 years. It's a long story, and we haven't concluded with that. So I made my career in the economic and trade sections of the Brazilian embassy. At the foreign office, I also was head of the European department, and I worked many years when I was posted in Brasilia, in the capital, in this specific area, the economic trade investment section. So one of my targets, or one of my main assignments here in Nigeria is, of course, to promote business, now business relationship, trade, investment areas, and that's my job here today. But of course, well, the trade and our business relationship is not the only one, because we have also very important cultural and educational and other areas that are also very important. But the trade and investments is really one of the key priorities in my job here at the new Brazilian ambassador in Nigeria. We have with Nigeria this high-level strategic mechanism that was agreed, signed by the presidents of both countries back in 2013, and so some years ago. Well, this mechanism, a high-level strategic mechanism, is coordinated at the level of vice presidents, and we held the first session of this strategic mechanism in 2014, and since then we haven't done anything else. So one of my priorities here in Abuja is to make it happen again, to make it alive again. So this strategic mechanism is composed of 9 different working groups, going from agriculture, food security, into defense, trade and investment, etc., judicial cooperation. So, of course, nowadays, one of the main areas of bilateral cooperation between the two countries is the agriculture sector, and so this is going to be one of the important working groups to be developed when this mechanism will happen again. We are expecting that this second session of this mechanism, strategic mechanism, will take place sometime next year, beginning of next year, here in Abuja. Because the first session took place in Brazil, so according to the principle of rotation between the two countries, it's Nigerians' turn to host this new meeting. And Vice President Jose Bajo, of course, is very much committed and is very much engaged in doing this. And our Vice President is already preparing himself to come to Nigeria at the beginning of next year to participate. Besides, he come with several other ministers. So, we decided to revive, to basically, just to let you know, 3 main bilateral trade commissions that we have around the world, and Nigeria is one of them. The other 2 is with China. Needless to say why China is so important for Brazil, for Nigeria, for the rest of the world. With Russia, we also have this bilateral trade investment commission or mechanism. This is probably going to take place sometime at the end of the year. And Nigeria, because Nigeria is the biggest GDP in African continent, biggest population, very important country. So these are the three main targets for the Brazilian government for the, let's say, short and mid term. So, and in Africa, of course, Nigeria is number one, besides South Africa and Angola. Angola because we have this Lusophone, long-standing relationship with South Africa because it's a very important economy on the continent as well. So, and it's also a member of the BRICS. So Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, they belong to this BRICS group, which well, this year we have the BRICS, they organize annual meetings, and this year it's up to Brazil to host the BRICS meeting in our country. So, and our vice president is going to preside, to chair this annual meeting of the BRICS at the end of the year. Take place somewhere in Brazil. I'm not sure if it's going to be São Paulo or maybe somewhere in Brazil. I don't remember exactly what city they are going to do that. So basically, this is the broad picture of the relationship between the two countries. So, of course, goes without saying that agriculture is one of the main sectors that we are cooperating with Nigeria. We have this development agricultural program that we are negotiating with the Nigerian government for the last 2 years. It's a huge development program that could go up to $1.1 billion of investment in the Nigerian agricultural sector for the exports of machines, equipment, and services from Brazil to Nigeria. But what is worth underlining or highlighting in this bilateral development program is that the two main pillars of this bilateral project is pillar number one, it's the technology transfer. We are transferring all Brazilian agricultural technologies to the Nigerian government. So this is pillar number one, technology transfer. And pillar number two is, of course, capacity building. Job creation and capacity building, training. Because in order to transfer this technology, we also need to provide the Nigerian government with the necessary capacity building, know-how, so and jobs, so people can benefit from this technology transfer. So the idea is not only to export this machine structures, but also to provide how to operate these machines and how to maintain the machines. Contrast with other countries who export this kind of machines to Nigeria, and it doesn't care what's going to happen afterwards. I'm not going to say exactly the name of the country or who does that, but our package is very different from other countries' package because the idea is to cover the whole agricultural value chain, from how you select seeds, how you harvest these crops, how you advertise, commercialize, etc., etc. And these machines and equipment will be exported to Nigeria in parts. So the idea is that these machines and equipment will be assembled here, creating jobs here in the country. So that's why a Brazilian company will buy a factory here.
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah, we're going to start to buy one factory, and then the idea is to multiply these factories. And so these machines will be assembled here. They will arrive here completely knocked down, CKD, as we say, the trade capital, and the assembly. So in order to create jobs, and so in order to create jobs, we need to train and we need to provide capacity building so people can, especially the young generations, young adults, can find work and can work in these factories. And these factories, of course, will assemble these machines, and around this factory, are also going to create sort of trade centers to provide the small and medium-sized farmers access to these machines. But the idea is not the farmer to buy these machines; they are very expensive. So, but they can use this machine, rent these machines for some time, use them, and then give it back to these trade centers. And the idea is to create more.
Beautiful idea.
To create around the first phase of the program, around 700 trade centers. And in the mid and long term perspective is to develop this or to extend these factories and this trade center around the factories to every one of the biggest, or every one of the 6 administrative regions in Nigeria. So every region would have its factory, assemble this equipment, these tractors and so on, and the trade centers that would be like satellites around this assembling plant. And to disseminate this in the whole country, all 6 administrative regions of Nigeria. As I said, covering all the agricultural value chain. So this is a very important program we're developing in Nigeria. We are not only providing this technology, transfer of technology, capacity building, training, but also the financing.
Sure.
We also provide the financing because the Nigerian government asked us to do that. So we managed to put in this package the Brazilian banks, and private and government banks to finance these imports from the Nigerian side. And so this is a very sophisticated, that's why it took so long to put it in practice, because this is very difficult to. And also there are Brazilian banks, private and public, Brazilian Deutsche Bank, Brazilian Investment Development Bank, and on the top of it we have also very regional and we have the Islamic Development Bank also assuring providing credit insurance for the loan that will be provided by the Brazilian Development Bank and the Brazilian Deutsche Bank and so on. So it's a very complex, very sophisticated, very original way of doing this investment in Nigeria, and I would say, I'll dare to say that probably is the first time something like that is done in the African continent, involving private, public, and the Islamic Development Bank in the economy. And in the medium and long term, the idea is this is Nigerian estimate, it's not our estimate, is that this bilateral agriculture program will create around 5 million jobs, new jobs, in the agriculture sector. And the target and the focus is, of course, small and medium-sized farmers. So, because the main purpose of this program is, of course, to mechanize and to modernize Nigerian agriculture, to create local jobs, technology transfer, and of course, at the end of the day, to provide food security for the country. Food security and food self-sufficiency, because you have a huge population.
Yeah, sure.
It's almost as big, and it's still growing every year. And doesn't seem that it's going to decline in the near future. So you have as almost as the same population of Brazil. Brazil is a little bit more than 200 million. So very soon you're going to catch up with the Brazilian.
Then somebody need to continue from where he stopped actually.
I hope so. Because he was a key person, a key minister in the bilateral development program. But I only hope that the person that is going to replace him will keep up.
There's going to be a continuity in this government. That's one thing I am very, very sure of.
Yeah.
I can promise you that this government, there's going to be continuity from where there's no people stop, definitely.
Hopefully, yeah.
See that.
That's my.
Trust me. No, we can't go back.
No.
We can't go back.
At any rate, and the vice president, Austin Marshall, is very, very much committed to this program. So I suppose we will take it up and we continue the same trend.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Because of our leadership, which is very wide across the continent, and our viewership too, that's why we have to ask you some of these questions that I sent to you actually. Then first and foremost, this is part of my team.
Yes.
Exactly. Victoria Pepo, camera guy, he's been wonderful, and the young lady here, and Mr. Jasper, they've actually been wonderful working together. Exactly. We all met you at the South African National Day. Yeah, okay. Sorry, do you have a card with you?
Yeah, I do have my card.
What about you? Okay, sorry. Yes, actually, without much ado, that's her card. Sorry,
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
PR times.
Yeah, we are a media organization that uses video, print, and audio to tell the African story. Against that negative perception people have about Africa. And we've been doing it for the past 6 years now, telling good stories about Africa and promoting business relationship between Nigeria and other countries, not just Nigeria, actually, Africa and other countries actually. And we've been doing this very well. And I'll ask her to send you a letter we got from Uganda recently, giving us a thumbs up, saying we've been doing well and they want us to come back to Uganda and help them promote their tourism.
Yeah.
And that's one area too I feel Brazil and Nigeria should be able to work on too. Exactly. So before I start the interview, it's like a passionate plea that if you want to grant us opportunity to go to your country for a media tour, so we can see how we can promote that area of business relationship between both nations. That's one. So for the sake of our leadership, sir, if you don't mind, without much ado, I want to start with the interview with the mind.
Okay.
Are we good to go? Mm-hmm. We're good? Okay, so can we meet you, sir?
Yes.
We, of course, any mission to Brazil, they have to be very carefully organized.
Okay.
And of course, let me be very clear. Since the beginning, we cannot sponsor anything. You have to go on your own, and of course, and I would strongly advise as well to get in contact with the Nigerian embassy in Brazil. We have a very active ambassador.
Okay.
He's not a community, he's a businessman, a lawyer.
Okay.
And he can be very instrumental and very helpful in setting up meetings and interviews with Brazilian time because he's there.
Yeah.
He's on the field, and he's been in Brazil for a year and a half, I guess. So he's got a lot of contacts already. The Brazilian government sector and the Brazilian private sector. And as I said, he can be very instrumental and very helpful and useful to organize meetings, such meetings for you. And he's a very nice guy too, so very open and very. So this is I strongly advise to get in contact.
close to that.
And so this is my first comment.
Alright.
I don't know if I answered all questions. So,
Yeah, well, I just feel you should give us a brief insight into your background or diplomacy as a career. How did you take it up?
I said in the beginning of our conversation,
Yeah.
I'm a career diplomat. I entered the foreign office through interest exams. We have this diplomatic institute, so it's very well structured, very formal. And back in 1984, 1985, so I've been in this diplomatic business for quite some time. I have been assigned to different places along my career, always in this trade and investment sections of the embassy. Mexico, and Geneva, was in a mission with WTO, at that time it was GATT. In Prague, in Brussels, Paris, with the ambassador, and then there's Sofia, the social affair. So, as I said earlier, my career mainly in European countries, because by coincidence, they all offer me places in this country along my career. So I was glad to spend part of my time as a diplomat in these European countries. And the other part of my time was to spend, of course, in Brazil, also working in this trade and economic department of directors of the foreign office. So this is basically, to make it short, my profile. So I'm an economist, also I'm a postgraduate in French economic school in Paris. So I'm married, so the French, my wife is French, and my children are French and Brazilian. And as I said, Nigeria is my first assignment in Africa.
That's so.
Yeah. And I'm here because I asked my foreign office to send me.
Oh, really?
It was not a lack of choice, on the contrary. They had proposed me other African countries, and I said no. I didn't think those countries were important enough. And I said I prefer to wait while the embassy was occupied by somebody else at the time. So I had to wait until this person goes away so I may go to replace him. And a friend of mine, he's now in Central America, ambassador in Central America. And so I asked to come here. I really wanted to come to Nigeria because I knew Nigeria was an important country, important to Brazil, important in the regional perspective, but continental perspective, and with deep, not only trade relations with Brazil, but also long-standing human and historical connections. So, since the 17th century, go to the northeast part of Brazil, the state of Bahia. It's basically outside Nigeria. It's the biggest Yoruba community outside Nigeria. The Yoruba language is even taught in a few universities in the state of Bahia, in north part of Brazil.
Wow.
Yeah. Like Portuguese is also taught in a few universities in Ibadan. Yeah. So this human and cultural connections between the two countries dates back to maybe centuries ago. And we can still see, Nigeria Nigerian influence. Well, Nigeria didn't exist as a country at that time, but the Yoruba influence in Brazilian gastronomy, Brazilian religious traditions, the candomblé, this orixás and things that we still, and some very traditional dishes that we still do, not part of Brazil, their origin is Nigerian. So, of course, when we adapted this, especially this dishes to Brazilian taste, but the origin comes from this country. So, and there's also the return Nigerian, the late of 19th century, beginning of 20th century. Some of these Nigerians who came back to Africa, we call them the return Nigerians.
The Simo family and all the families.
And with the surname like Silva and so on, basically to Lagos. They came back to Lagos. So that's why you can still see some streets in Lagos with Portuguese names.
Exactly, yes.
And there is
The Silva,
the Silva, the neighborhood that was a Brazilian neighborhood.